well, let's get this started. So, my first question is, what was your affiliation with this school?
Originally, we had a steering committee that was formed by the Prescott, Arizona PTA. That's when they passed the law that counties could have community colleges. And I was at the first meeting, and I was elected by the group to be on the steering committee of planning the college and getting it set up to where we could have a school in Yavapai County, going out and talking to all of the towns throughout the county about the situation. So from then on, I've spent 10 years on the board as a board member from the founding board of the college when it was formed.
So you're still on the board?
No. No, I'm not on the board. I haven't been on the board for a long time. Then after that, I served on the foundation board, which helped raise funds for the college and so forth. But I've been off them for quite a while.
Okay. How many years were you affiliated with the school?
I was with it 10 years on the governing board, and probably 4 or 5 years. I can't remember exactly how long on the foundation board. Maybe a little longer than that. I don't know.
Okay. What did both boards consist of?
What did the boards consist of?
Yeah, what exactly did?
Well, there was 5-member board like there is now, the same government like the governing board is now, and then we had a state board. I think the state board is a little different now than it used to be, but the state board approved our budgets and so forth like that, and went over a lot of things with us. After we formed, and we go to the state board with it.
Okay, and that was which board was that? That you're on? That
was the college governing board of the college. The foundation board is completely different. I mean, when I say different, it just raises funds for the college.
That was just for raising funds.
Yeah, and there still exists too.
All right. What was the most challenging part of these positions?
Well, getting the people to vote for the college district, because they were planning it in Prescott. The Verde Valley was about almost half the size. I mean, half of the county. And most of them voted against it, and this side voted for it, so we just barely passed the issue to have a college on this side. But now Cottonwood has as much as we have, I think, almost. A very nice situation over there,
Yeah. And what brought you to Yavapai College? Like, how did you get affiliated with that?
Well, the way I got familiar with it was originally, like I told you, when the steering committee was formed. And I was elected by that group to be a member of the steering committee to go out and sell the idea to the county for a community college in Yavapai County.
Okay. And what background did you have?
Well, my personal background has been in retail all my life. I've been a businessman. I started right out of high school with Safeway stores and managed some of their stores. And then I came back to Prescott, where I was originally from the time I was 5 years old. And sold life insurance for a couple of years, then went into the furniture business. And my boys bought me out, and it's having a 61st year in the business now in Prescott, the furniture business. But my boys have had it for a long time. But anyway, being a community-minded person, I wanted to serve from wherever I could, and so I served on the college board. And then I decided after 10 years that somebody else needed that opportunity.
What was the most what was the most rewarding?
Well, I think the most rewarding is we saw these buildings go up and seeing a school getting started and everybody working hard to make it work. We built all 4 of these buildings, the biggest ones here, for $12 million. Not very much money compared to what it costs today to build them.
Yeah. Do you feel that these experiences have helped you?
Oh, no question about it. I think that it's helped me a lot in everything that I've done. I mean, you get acquainted with your community and you work in your community, and it helps you in your business and everything else. I think every businessman, personally, I think should contribute some type of help to the community, free gratis, if that's the word you want to use.
Okay. And do you remember any specific events that happened not pertaining to the college but affected the college?
Well, I don't know of anything that affected except that when we formed it is when Prescott started to grow. And when we formed the community college district and kids started coming to school, Prescott started growing. It was probably 10 to 15,000 people in Prescott at that time. I don't know the exact figures, but not very many in comparison to what it is today. But as that happened, I think the college had a great bit to do with that.
What else have you been involved around, like, the community?
Well, in the community, quite a few things. I've been chairman of the United Fund Drive, chairman of the Boy Scout Drive, president of the Chamber of Commerce, sat on the Board of Adjustments for the city of Prescott, and president of the Lions Club. In everything, I try to be active throughout my life in the community, in different activities and so forth, and that's some of the things that I've done.
Did any of those affect what you did here, or what you did here affect any of those?
Well, I hope that I had some effect on the community for the service that I've rendered, and some effect on the college. We ran for election. The first year we were appointed as a board by the county superintendent of schools, 5 men. And then the next year we all had to run for the board and be voted on. And the person that got the most votes stayed 5 years, the second 4 years. The next count was 3 years, 2 and 1. And so I wound up second most votes. So I was on for 4 years that time, and then turned around and ran again unopposed. I was unopposed both times that I ran.
All right. And have you seen like a lot of change?
Oh my goodness, I've seen so much change. After Yavapai College come, then Prescott College came back to town. I mean, not the same people, but they started over again and called it Prescott College. And naturally, Emory Riddle is here. But all of this started after the community college came in and started the growth in the community. Then people started coming in, and then more schools wanted to put it, because it's a great place to live, a great place to be, and good year-round climate and so forth. So I think but I think the community college had more to do with the growth of Prescott than almost anything else has over the past few years.
Really? What about like the demographics for the school? Like, has there been a change in like who sort of attended originally to now?
No, I don't think there's hardly any change. At first, I understand you're starting another program now, but at first we had a diesel program that Baghdad was very interested in, because they had all their people down there that they needed to train. And we had a big welding program. I don't know how it is now. But a lot of it, we first started putting it into all of the areas where people could get a trade real quick and move into a different trade. And then I think it might be now that it's considerable amount of young people take the 2 years here and go on to 4-year university. But originally it seemed like it filled in more for the 2-year program, that nursing program and different programs that were able to, like the welding program, the nursing program, the mechanic program, and so forth, was a 2-year program.
What about after, like when you were finished? How has any of this that you did affected, like where you've gone from there?
Well, I don't know as I've had any great effect on it afterwards, but the people that have followed me on the board and so forth, I think have done some really great jobs in continuing with the growth of the college. One of the greatest things that happened, in my opinion, was a center over here for the arts and so forth. So we have great talent to come to Prescott that we never had before, and so forth. And when that was built, I thought that was a tremendous plus for the community and the college itself. I wasn't involved in that particular, but I mean, after I left, I see some great things done by the people that followed on the board.
Do you remember any specific experiences that really changed how it was ran? Like,
well, throughout the years, every new president comes in and has a different idea of how things should go, and there was some ups and downs. And actually, while I was on the board, we had 3 different presidents in the 10 years, and so forth. But it has a great deal to do with who's president, how things run, how smooth they are, and how much trouble they might have, and so forth. But I think that overall it's been a pretty good situation.
pretty good program.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think it was best? Like,
When it was
in your
what?
opinion, when was the school at its best, like its highest point in sort of being run?
Oh, I don't think I can even answer that question. It seems like that from the very start, everybody was very aggressive with a lot of things to do, and a lot of pressure on them to build things and so forth. And it seems to me like right now, it's probably, in my personal opinion, probably run as smooth as I've ever seen it run, because I watch it and I read about it all the time in the paper, and I'm very impressed with the people that are running Yavapai College now.
Yeah. All right. Was there a student government when you were?
Oh yeah, they had a student government. Yeah, they made decisions and so forth about student things and so forth. I don't remember any of the details of it, but they had one. Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, yeah, you don't really remember much about it. What were there any resources available on campus?
Well, we immediately had housing for campus, but we started in a motel across the highway, leasing the motel for housing and so forth, and started building the dorms after that.
Okay. And other than that, I mean, like the facilities, like like weight rooms and.
They had some weight things in the gymnasium. They had a pretty good sized gymnasium and so forth, but it wasn't, when it started, it wasn't like it is today. More people are involved in weightlifting to build them up in all sports and so forth, and at that time it wasn't. All we had was a basketball program and a baseball program in those days when it first started.
Yeah. And did you see like effects like war ever affected how things?
I don't really think it had that much effect on it because most of the wars since the college has been volunteer people going, so it wasn't that it took all the young people out of the college and school to send them to the army and so forth. So I don't think it's had a great deal of effect on it.
Okay. You said you grew up in Prescott?
I came to Prescott in 1933. I was 5 years old. My folks brought me here for asthma, and I outgrew it here, and so that's why we're still here. I haven't had any trouble with it since I was about 12 years old. I played every sport in school and never had a bit of trouble after that. What they said, outgrew it.
And you've been here?
I've been here since 1933. Well, I was gone 3.5 years managing Safeway stores in Holbrook and Flagstaff, but then I came back.
Okay. Was it different? Like, was it different than it is now?
Oh, everything is different than it is now. It was, yeah. It's in those days, you didn't have the gang wars that you have. You didn't have the shootings that you see around the area now, and people walk off from their home, leave the doors unlocked. You never thought of locking the door. You never thought of locking a car. People leave keys in their cars, never think about that. Kids could roam the street in the evenings and not worry about anything. It was a small town when it first started, and it's one of those things that happens in small towns. Everybody knows everybody else, so they don't have as much problems.
And what about like the school? How is that? Have you seen that change?
Well, just the growth. There's a lot more children, young people in school. When I graduated from high school in Prescott, it was 109 people in our graduating class. I don't know how many now, but there's a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the town has grown. And in fact, Chino Valley and Prescott Valley was nothing until about 1966. About the time we started college, it started growing too, and started building houses out there. It was incorporated, I should say, about that time. They started building sooner than that.
Yeah. All right. Do you know, like, how much it costed to attend?
I don't remember. I don't remember what the tuition was.
Probably a little less than it is now.
Well, I'd say a third of what it is now, probably, but I don't know that.
And how was the environment on campus?
Environment on campus?
Sort of the same as it is now, or?
Well, I don't know about for sure what it is now, but we didn't have any problems about. Everybody seemed to get along well, and you never had any trouble with fights that we knew of, as board members, and things like that you might get in some of the schools. Although I think Yavapai's been a very calm setup on it.
Did you ever get involved in any courses here?
I took welding.
Welding?
I took a welding class. I retired early when I was about 52, and I ran a cattle ranch on Mingus Mountain for our church welfare project, it's called. And I wanted to build a bunch of krills, so I took a welding class so I could learn to weld the pipe krills together. And then for 2 years I built pipe krills on the ranch so that bulls couldn't run through, and they run through a board, just crack them and break them, and you could keep a big old tough bull in the pens and keep people from getting hurt with them. But that's the only class I ever took Yavapai.
And do you know much about that program now? Like, has it?
Well, it seemed to me like it kind of slipped for a while, but I understand it's coming back strong now again too. So there's ups and downs and everything.
Okay. Did they have like the cafeteria and everything?
Oh yes, yeah. Cafeteria was in the other building, in the administration building over there now. It's where it was originally, on the top floor. Mm-hmm.
And has that changed much?
Well, I was surprised today. I hadn't been in that building. I came through it thinking that's where it was.
Oh.
And everything has changed a whole lot. I knew they were remodeling everything, but I'd seen part of it, but I hadn't seen that building.
All right. And how was the food then? Is it?
I thought they did a very good job. They've had a lot of different people in the food industry that's, I guess, bid on the service and so forth over the years, different people, but I was never disappointed in when we ate there, although they might have fed the board better than they did. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I think that might be all I have.
Well, I think it's great that we have a program here for so many young people to get an education, plus a lot of older people are using it too. I have a son that teaches 2 design classes here, Wednesdays and Thursday nights. And it's great to have those kind of programs because the people who are taking them are taking them for their own personal use. They're not trying to get a degree in it or anything else. And there's a lot of that goes on, which is great for the senior citizens that want to do some things that don't want to really go back to school and work real hard, but they want to learn some things and so forth. So I think that's about what it is.
All right. Do you have anything else that?
I don't think so, but I'm glad that you asked me to come down and visit with you. And I think the greatest thing ever happened to Prescott was Yavapai College. I really do.
Yeah. I like it a lot. I enjoy
Well,
it.
that's good.
Good place to start.
I'm sorry?
It's a good place to start.
You betcha. It is. Where you plan on going on from here to?
I'm planning on going to NAU.
NAU?
Yeah.
I went up there for 2 weeks. I had a football scholarship right out of high school, and I lasted 2 weeks, made the traveling team, and came home because the scholarship wasn't everything they said it was. And so I come home to work and earn some money to go back the next year. First thing I knew, I was managing a Safeway store instead of going to school. Yeah.